my upgrade from 15. Because on my other YouTube account, I have like 38 viewers. It's still a Metro Airwaves videos, but I hadn't figured out, how to switch them over yet. So, because I'm still kind of new at this. But hey, 38, it's better than 15, I guess. And I also found out the other day that I got one subscriber on my Metro Airwaves page, YouTube page. So that's pretty cool. I mean, whoever that is, thank you very much. So this is I don't know if this is going to be a two-part video or not, because I was going to do a video, do it the lazy way, and have a little introduction and all that kind of stuff, and then use pictures and download pictures and all that kind of stuff to do it. But I might still do that as a part two. But today I was at work, and and I was bored, so what I did was, I came up with this little story. Okay, I don't know how many of you have ever heard of cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is a type of thing that a lot of religious people use, but not just religion. People use it for politics. I mean, everything. Cognitive dissonance is a type where if you tell somebody something and it's against their beliefs, no matter what the beliefs are, they will come up with any kind of reason to try to keep their beliefs true to themselves and true. And no matter what, you could tell somebody the world is made of snow, and you could show them the proof. You could take them into caves. You could do, you could show them proof, and they'll still say, well, there's snow deeper into the earth and all this, all this kind of nonsense. But this little story that I wrote, hopefully you'll get some idea of what I mean. Okay, so one day, and by the way, in this story, it's funny because when I was 12 years old, then I found out the truth about this stuff. Okay, but anyway, one day some parents decided to tell their child, decided that their child was getting too old to believe in Santa. And, it's usually around, I mean, if most people I know who are atheists, agnostics and stuff, and even some so-called Christians and all that, they pick a certain age, like after 12, 13, I mean, if you have your children believing that nonsense, well, if you haven't believing in certain religious nonsense, I mean, what difference does it make to have them believing in a Santa? So, because to me, Santa and God is pretty much the same. But, you get to a certain age where a child, I mean, it's time to give up some of these childish things, especially believing in a Santa and all that kind of stuff. So what these parents did was they sat down at the table and got their child, and they decided to tell him that there's no more Santa Claus. So the father said, well, son, there is no Santa Claus. And then shocked, the boy, he looked at the parent and said, no, you're lying. You're lying. Santa is real. If he's not real, how come on Christmas when I go to sleep there's nothing under the tree, and then when I wake up there is? And the father, he looked at the son, he was like, no, look, come on, boy. He said, every year me and your mom, we go out and get all your gifts. I mean, sometimes grandma gets them, sometimes Uncle Joe, like you know the deal. See, and the kid was like, he wasn't hearing that. He wasn't hearing that. So he was like, no way. I've seen many books about him. I mean, we got books everywhere about Santa. He said, I've seen TV shows about Santa. I mean, where he comes from, his birth, and all this kind of stuff. He said, and even my teacher at school talks about him. And he said, even though Santa's a myth, even with the international timeline, there's no way he could deliver millions of gifts, let alone carry them in one sleigh. That's what the father told the son. I mean, there's no way with the international timeline and all that, and even with that, and there's no way he can do it in a sleigh. And the little boy, he was like, he still wasn't hearing that. I mean, he was like, well, he's got magic reindeer. His magic reindeer, they travel fast. They, travel fast as light. He said, and then the mother, she looked. It was her turn to get in. She says, as many times as we've taken you to the zoo, have you seen one of the reindeers fly off? And the boy was like, no, we didn't see them fly off because they're magical. I mean, they're magical. So those reindeers are just regular reindeer, you know. But Santa has magical reindeer. He gives them magic seeds. I've seen it. I've seen it on TV. I've seen it in a book. He gives them magical seeds to help them fly. That boy argued. He said, well then, okay. If that's the case, he said, how come there are different stories about this Santa depending on where you live? I mean, you know, some people call him, you know, by different names, and they have different, you know, way he dresses. And even in, I think it's either Sweden or Denmark, there's Santa. I don't know if he still do now, but he used to have a little character with him. He was like a little racial stereotype, little elf. He was like really dark skinned, and you know, and the red lips and all that kind of stuff. And then, but the boy, he was like. He said, yeah, there might be different stories about him, but they're all wrong. All those other stories of Santa is wrong. They don't know the real Santa like I do. He said, I've seen him in the mall. I've even got pictures with him, with actual Santa, you know, with Santa. He said, excuse me. So what they believe about Santa is wrong. My beliefs are true. I mean, you know, mine. And the father, he was like, well, son, we're sorry for deceiving you. But those were just men in suits. I mean, most of these guys are just earning a little money, you know, during the season, you know, just earn a few bucks. And the son was like, you shouldn't talk like that. He sees you when you're sleeping and awake. He hears you and he writes your name. And he writes your name either in the naughty or the nice book. And then when Christmas comes, you'll be sorry if you're in that naughty book. I mean, I'm serious. When that day comes, that day of judgment, Christmas Day, if you're in the naughty book, you'll be sorry. You'll be sorry. And they said, so okay, son. So all these Christmas sales and people going broke buying stuff, why would they do that if there were a Santa? He said, they're buying for friends and family, the little boy argued. But Santa makes up the rest. Yep, Santa, he makes up the rest. So the mother says, so what about that poor kid? Like the one kid in your class. Most of the time he gets nothing around Christmas time. And when he does, it's not much. He said, and the other kids with money get the best and most. Santa discriminates? I mean, you know, does he discriminate? And the boy was like, no, that kid doesn't believe in Santa hard enough. Plus he's bad. And the father cut in. He said, well, no. I know the boy's father, the parents, and that boy, he's a really good kid. I mean, he never causes any problems. He's real respectful. He's always been respectful to me and to your mother, and he's respectful to the other kids and stuff. But just because he doesn't believe in Santa, he's supposed to suffer? I mean, even though he's a nice kid? And his son was like, yeah. He said, so, you know, so this little thing went on and on, this tete-a-tete went on. And no matter what logical argument the parents gave disputing Santa, the boy, he countered with ridiculous answers that even as a 15-year-old should make sense, including Santa shrinking to get down pipes in houses without chimneys, and the reindeer's nose glowing, you know, in case it starts storming and stuff like that. He can guide the sleigh into to all over the place. Okay, so you know, after a while, I mean, it was getting useless. It was getting useless to try to argue anymore. So tired of this, you know, argument, his father, you know, just finally said, look, if I can prove to you that there is no Santa Claus. He said, Christmas is next week. So what we'll do is stay up all night and wait. I mean, all night. He said, if he doesn't come, then you give up this really silly notions of a magical fat man that does impossible feats. The boy agreed, hoping to prove his parents wrong. So finally Christmas came. The boy drank massive amount of cocoa and all that kind of stuff, you know, to try to stay awake. You know, and while the parents, they just sat on the couch nudging the boy every time he would drift off to sleep. They, you know, wake your little ass up. But I mean, they didn't say it like that, but you know what I mean, you know. And as midnight approached, they could hear him whispering to himself, "Come on, Santa, come on. I know you're there. I know that you hear me. Please, please, Santa, come on, I need you. About 5 o'clock, and because of a lack of sleep, the boy became angry. He said, so the father said, well, son, let's just call it a night. I said, are you convinced now? With an explosion of anger, he turned to his parents. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. That's why he didn't come, because you didn't believe. Now Christmas is ruined because of y'all. You didn't believe strong enough in Santa. So no matter what he said, nothing would change his mind, even though he knew in his heart that there was no Santa. As a poor kid in the class, he didn't believe in Santa either. Well, he didn't believe his parents never let him believe because they didn't want the boy to believe in that nonsense and then have be upset when he received nothing. So as a poor kid in the class, he didn't believe, and as other kids his age were starting not to believe that a fantastical man were bringing good things. So that's a little bit of try to explain what the cognitive dissonance is. There's a more detailed description. That's what I'm trying to say. To it, you can look it up and see. But I mean, as you can see that no matter what nonsense people believe, I mean, somebody, if they got in their heart of hearts to actually believe in something, no matter how nonsensical it is, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. I mean, eventually they'll see the light. Like that boy, he was like about 15 years old, 14, something like that. But so eventually he'll probably, like when he gets 16, 17, 18, whatever, he'll see the light. So I mean, I kind of do that with like some religious folks. I mean, people are always telling me, and they're always trying to preach to me, because my family, I got a lot of these so-called Christians, and especially in the black community, everywhere you go you see Christians. They could be all bent over and half dead and stuff, but they're still Christian. So I mean, that's my little thing today. I'll probably do a part 2 comparing Santa to God. I mean, to see how people put powers in this mythical character, Santa, and then they put powers in this God, and then you can compare them or whatever. But anyway, thanks for watching my Metro Airways, and thank you for making it 38 viewers. That's only on one of the videos. It's on the other channel. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put one more channel up on one more video up on my old channel, directing people who watch videos there over to here, because I'm not putting any more videos on that channel anymore. I didn't close it because of it was like 2 or 3 videos on there. I didn't close it, but I'm not going to put any more videos on that. I'm just right now mostly do Metro Airwaves, and I've been thinking of other ideas that I can do and stuff, especially when I get my brother on board. We're going to start a different channel, but I'm going to still keep Metro Airwaves for those like 20 something viewers that actually watch Metro Airway videos, and the 1 subscriber, whoever that is. Okay, thank you very much, and keep an eye out for my next video, how Santa is like God. All right.